this one. You might have had some people from Brazil here who became agronomists, PhDs in soil science and genetics. They went back and they were able to create soy that grows beautifully there. Their cost per bushel is about $1.60 under anything we can produce in America. We're talking 100 million acres in soy right now in Argentina, that part of Brazil, Peru, and Bolivia. The United States has 67 million acres in soy. They have competitive advantages that are enormous. Weather, they can grow year-round. They don't have the regulatory pressures we have. They're an open slate. Do you realize that Brazil is like the United States was back in the 1800s? It's a wide, open country. And they're rocking and rolling. In 2 decades, they've developed 450,000 square miles of farmland. 450,000 square miles. They focused initially on science and technology, crop breeding, soil science, and look at what they're doing. If you understand, and many of you as economists, the world went from Poland and France bringing the bread baskets of the world to the United States, the upper Midwest, initially down through the Midwest, down through Oklahoma, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. But now it's beginning to shift, folks. It's shifting. Quick quote. I don't think you read this. Hopefully you can read this all right. Peter Goldsmith, Director of National Soil Research Institute. South America has a clear competitive advantage. In the long run, there's no obvious way for American farmers to catch up. These guys have the largest low latitude agricultural technology on the planet for soy and a number of other crops like cotton. He went on to say that soy is the first in a series of temperate crops that are shifting to the tropics with wheat and corn next in line. That's what his belief is. And he's the executive director of the American Soy Institute. This is our reality. Now, don't punch me in the nose. Don't slash my tires. This is what was going on in the United States after World War II, that other countries could not compete against the United States. We were rocking and rolling. But now you start looking and say, the world's flat now. It's an open stage, regardless of what's going on in the Middle East, for competition. Look what's happening in Russia. I mean, Russia's had more IPOs than ever before in its history, initial public offerings. Russia, under Putin. Russia's now the world's largest oil producer. Look what's happening in Central Europe. Look what's happening, and again, in Vietnam, Thailand. Look what's happening in China and India. People are rolling. They want to make money. I was in China 10 years ago, and everybody, I swear everybody was out selling bottled water. They're selling all kinds of stuff. I don't know where they're getting all this stuff. Probably filling up in their taps. But they're out there selling stuff to you. They'll sell anything to you because they were finally allowed by the government to go into business for themselves. The world is flat. It's a different world right now, and it's changed just in the past 5 or so years. Competitive world and economy, you realize that back in '96 was about $4 trillion. Going into '08, it's over $30 trillion and rising fast. Competitive world economy. We are a global marketplace and a free market democracy. So people who have something to sell, or can take some land and they can grow crops a lot cheaper than somebody else can, they're going to go on the marketplace and they're going to sell them. And they're going to send their folks to the best universities, get the best training they possibly can, and they're going to go into business. But you know what's happening out of Illinois and Iowa? Guess who's going to Brazil and going into business? Farmers. Starting their own consortiums. Consortia, I think you'd say. They're going down there, they're creating businesses in another country. And you know what? They're making a lot of money because they got on their tiptoes and they